Does God have a big toe? Stories about stories in the Bible. Mark Gelman, Oscar de Mayo, published by HarperCollins. And the story today is, does God have a big toe? Long ago, all the people lived in one place called Babel, but every person spoke the same language, all of which made life very easy. Getting the news was easy, and you didn't have to learn a new language in high school. But Arina's question changed all that. Arina asked, Mommy, I have a big toe, and you have a big toe, and Daddy has a big toe. Does God have a big toe too? Now, everything might have been all right if Arina's mother had just said, Arina, God is not a person. God is special and invisible and wonderful, and God is the creator of the universe. God has made each of us in God's image, but God is not a person. And that is why God does not have a big toe. But Arina's mother was busy with something, and she said, Go ask your father. So she did, but Arina's father was also busy with something, and he told her, Go ask your grandpa. So she did. Grandpa was in his garden digging up weeds with his friend, pal Fred, who worked in the king's palace. Arina asked Grandpa, I have a big toe, and Mommy has a big toe, and Daddy has a big toe, and you have a big toe, and Fred has a big toe. Does God have a big toe too? Now Arina's grandpa was old and a little hard of hearing, and he said, Does God have a big hoe? Why, I don't know if God has a big hoe. I suppose if God has a garden, then God must have a hoe. After all, you can't get rid of weeds without a hoe. Fred whispered to Arina that he would ask the king the next day at work. The king thought, and then issued a proclamation. You, the people of Babel, will build a tower up to the sky so that I, your king, can stand on top of this tower and look at God's foot. Then I will tell you if God has a big toe. The king ordered the builders to use only the best bricks and the best tar to stick them together. The Tower of Babel grew higher and higher every day. Now God knew that if everybody was working on the tower, then nobody would work in the fields growing things. Nobody would be in the shops making things. God knew that soon all the bricks and tar in Babel would be used up, and the people of Babel would have nothing left to build houses. God thought about just knocking down the tower, but God knew for sure that the Babylonians would just build it up again to see if God had a big toe. There was only one thing to do. The next day, when Arina came to watch the work on the tower, she heard Fred ask his friend for a brick, and his friend answered, Ma ata rotzeb? And turned to another guy with tar who said, Arigato, and asked a guy with a shovel who said, Como esta? And looked at a fellow with a wheelbarrow who said, Gesundheit. Soon, bricks and tar were flying everywhere, and by the end of the day, people who spoke the same language were heading out of town together. Arina and her family decided to leave town too. With Fred, Grandpa, and a few other people they could still understand, they packed up everything they owned and left Babel. On the cart, Arina was quiet for a while and then asked, Mommy, I have a belly button, and you have a belly button, and Daddy has a belly button. Does God have a belly button too? And I'd like to know how you would end that story.